So one of the best times to work for us is just before sunrise. In the summer it happens very early, so we get up nice and early. In the winter, obviously it happens a little bit later. So today we are building an African smile, and so the water comes from that side, runs into here, and causes an erosional. Same on that side. So this is basically an area between two valleys. Let me just show you quickly. Okay. Okay, no, it's fine. So there's one there running down into the river. Now these erosion holes has both been stopped by the swale on top, so they're not as active as they used to be. There's not, and then obviously the neighbor built loads and loads of walls. Simon on his mission to cut dead branches is fantastic, and then this is the other erosion hole here. So we'll be adding the zipet. Sorry, I'm carrying the tripod, so it's a bit uneven. Adding the zipet over here. Ek wil net vir hulle die lyn trek. So it goes basically just a 3 meter wide half moon like this. And then 1, 2, 3, 2.5 meters about. And then we will be doing something nice and special to it as well. So while Lucas and Emmanuel's been digging, Simon's been gathering. So that is actually the size of wood that we want. But we also gathered this and this, and the hole is getting deeper. Now I've been helping Simon gathering wood, and I've been wondering whether we're not actually doing the area a disservice using this as biochar, because this is an area below this tree. Let me show you quickly. Below this tree here, now I've been gathering a bunch of sticks and woods and so on that it's been dropping here. But you see there's actually a little ecosystem happening below here. There's lots of termites action happening. The termites then obviously loosen the soil, and I think these little mounds that they make might even help for evaporation, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm wondering whether we're not doing this place a disservice, but since we'll be adding holes and seeds and things like that, I think that will help replace the mulch that we are basically taking now. We simply didn't have time to do all of the fresh cutting today, to make the video work. So we had to take some of the wood that was lying on the ground. Ideally, I think in the next videos we'll only be taking wood that's actually still hanging on a tree. Let me see if I can find some now. Like, yeah. Ideally, this project in this area, I think, would have been better served if we only use wood like this. Sticks that's still hanging in the tree that's dead. Or cut back these ones and use that wood. So our final depth is about, I would say, between 15 and 30 centimeters deep. Removing the last bit of old soil. Yeah, so we're gonna start the fire in one corner just to make it a little bit bigger. Now the idea behind Terra Preta is to create a dark soil. Now, well, charcoal mixed into the soil. Now charcoal is basically, or biochar is basically wood that's been cooked in a low oxygen environment, so you create heat with the fire. That sends a lot of carbon into the air, but it also, if you can burn it somehow and take the oxygen away, then you char the outside. Then you kill it before it gets completely burnt out, and then you sit with a layer of charcoal on the outside of the wood. And it might even be charred throughout. Now, biochar is one of those things like permaculture that you can make as easy or as difficult as you want. If you want to make pure biochar, then that is a very complicated process. When it's finished, all the wood oils have been burned out, everything that's not carbon is gone, and that's enough, Emmanuel. Moremi, thank you. All the wood oils have been gone and there's only carbon left. It also sounds a lot like glass. Now, terra preta is the word that the Indians used, or the word that is used for the soil created by the Native Americans, the Indians. Very often in South America, in the Amazon. And so what we're making here today is definitely not pure terra preta. It's just a cheap imitation, you can almost say. It's like when you order some things from a cheap website. But it will definitely improve the soil. The carbon doesn't get eaten by the termites that's left, will not get eaten by the termites, and it will help soil microbial activity. It will also have a tremendous effect on holding water. So this is clay soil that the guys have been digging into. This combined with the worm castings that we're going to use to charge this with will hold water in this landscape and give everything around it water for a long time to come. So in a perfect world, you start the fire at the bottom, and then the top doesn't get you add branches on top, and then the bottom doesn't get as much oxygen as it needs, so it dies. I helped the process on a little bit with water. I realized that works a bit better, so I dose it with water once it becomes. After we started, we thought we should have actually made it in the whole hole, not only on the side. So that's what we're intending or trying to do. That's why you should work with gloves. Moremi got it better than me. Okay, trek maar aan. Gooi maar aan, Simon. This is actually more of a winter activity. Summer activity. The sun is up now, it's getting hot as hell. Because of the nature of these sticks, putting air between them, they burn like petrol. There's nothing, it's a story to make them not have oxygen. See, I was actually touching that tree there on top. The noise it makes. Leaves are quite high. Put a little bit of water, Moremi. Because the branches are so thin, it actually gets killed very easily with water. The fire is extremely hot and volatile, but just add a little bit of water and it have a big effect. Okay, so we decided it's enough, and we are now actively killing it. And there is still quite a bit of unburned wood, but I think we'll leave some for the termites and we'll leave some for the microbes to eat, and then we'll see what we do now. First time using the drone for a recording this long, and obviously the first time doing the voiceover. So my drone flying skills are still very shoddy, so bear with me. I wanted to give you extra perspective of where we are digging. Now, we ended up digging a second one. We realized later on that it was a public holiday, nothing's going to happen in town, some of my appointments cancelled, so I had a lot more time. We actually ended up making a whole new video as well. You can see they are facing in two different directions. That's simply the slope changes in that area, and so they face in more directions. in theory, it would be fantastic if we ended up filling this whole field with zai pits. Now, nothing humbles me as much as lifting up a drone. That's why I'm dreading it so much, because then you realize in what state your land is in and how much you really need to repair it. So please excuse the brownness, but I think the brownness will be nice to look at one day. Just to interrupt myself, right in front there, that's Damien's forest and the friendly forest, surrounded by the thorn branches there. And you can see the river is twisting around it. You can see the green around the river. That is the arena and the training ring, and then the stables with the lucerne patch next to it and the place where the boys eat lunch. Right below you see those little round patches, that's places where we planted grass, and the worm patch, there's also some zai pits there. Yeah, and then we come down, landing again. I didn't want to make it too long. I was scared it's going to be boring. We are expecting our first new pigs in January, so we'll have to get the pig pen up and running before then. So we ended up having a bit more time, so we built another one. This one is 4 meters across. These are the bushes that will be burning there today. The video is getting too long, so I'm not going to put that in, but quickly want to show you what we ended up here with. This is now biochar, and it's nice and cold already. And then on top of that we add plenty of worm castings, and then we just wait for the rain.